line that give the lefties some difficulty because you're used to playing so many cross court. Well, we're going to start action right now.
Here we go. Ethan to serve.
Jeremy plays a very consistent game. He's not going to run around and bomb forehands. I have a feeling Ethan might do a little bit more of that. Jeremy loves placement, loves control, and he's an excellent counterattacker.
Little clip of the net there. 2-0 Jeremy.
Jeremy also coaches at Ping Pod, so being in the city at NYU, he continues to help other players, do a lot of stuff with promotion with the sport.
Right. Typically, would you say the first game is usually the game of testing the waters, kind of finding the strategy to dig in?
Yeah, I think both players are going to try to play their game, figure out what serve returns are going to come their way. I think these are both such strong players that they will force their strengths. And Jeremy has exceptional touch, and he's going to see if Ethan has the ability to put pressure on him.
Nice rally.
And kind of establish on how risky he needs to be. If he feels he's getting over, this is for Jeremy, if he feels he's getting overpowered, you'll see a lot more offense. Whereas if all of a sudden Ethan's having issues getting into the point, Jeremy will just stay pat, take it easy, make Ethan do all the heavy lifting.
It's about choosing the shots.
Yeah, and it looked like that ball might have caught the back edge.
Yeah, I think so.
It sounded like it.
Yeah, now it's 2-6 with the serve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 7-2.
I love Jeremy's disposition. It's always kind of self-effacing and apologizing.
Yeah.
He's never really in your face. It's a fun opponent to match up against.
Yeah.
Kind of contrasting it with what we saw last night in the doubles with Nikhil Kumar, who you know when you're playing him that he's on fire, and when he makes a great shot, you're going to hear it twice as the ball goes by you and then as he informs you that it was a good shot.
Yeah.
But right now it looks like Jeremy is feeling very comfortable.
Right. It's 3-9, Ethan to serve. Nice shot, nice serve.
Wow, smart play by Ethan. He's going to need to land some of his strong attacks, especially if Jeremy is giving up the first attack. But you can just see Jeremy very comfortable, both backhanded back and even the quick down the line shot.
Now Jeremy has 5 game points to get this first game. Jeremy gets that first game, 11-6. What do you think Ethan needs to do to kind of get back into this with a strategy?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for Ethan is he really needs to figure out a way of getting into the points on his terms. Right now, Jeremy is doing an excellent job of controlling the serve and serve return in the backhand-to-backhand exchanges. It feels like Jeremy has a lot more confidence. Ethan may be serving a little bit more out, but he's got to be careful because Jeremy will put those balls away, but if he just goes for a short game, I think the advantage is going to be with NYU. So a little bit of an uphill battle or struggle for Georgia Tech, but Ethan needs to figure out a way of getting his forehand into play a lot more often. Jeremy does have another gear if he needs to go on the offensive that we haven't seen yet other than 1 or 2 shots.
Right.
So this first match can really set the tone in any of these team matches. If you feel you're getting outmatched, sometimes it can deflate your motivation or...
And for the rules with doubles, if it were to go to a tie-breaking doubles, the number one on the roster has to play in doubles. So
these guys would see each other again.
Yeah.
Excellent play by both players. Jeremy continuing to move the ball around. Ethan doing a much better job of getting his attacks going. We're going to need to see a lot of that from the Georgia Tech player.
3-1, Jeremy to serve.
Just
wow.
Great angles by Jeremy, setting that up so well with a couple of wide balls into the backhand before finally playing that ball down the line. You can see just keeping him in the backhand corner, keeping an eye on that early turn.
It was the right idea for Jeremy. I saw it like a spinny loop and then a smash.
Exactly.
Like
Jeremy does an excellent job of mixing things up. He doesn't give you just a lot of pace. He'll take some of it off. Whereas with Ethan, it looks like he definitely wants to make the strongest shot possible anytime he's in position, which plays into Jeremy's game because Jeremy likes to redirect energy. This is not where Ethan would like to be trailing in game 2 after Jeremy did such a strong, there's that soft opening. It didn't make it over the net, but once again, Jeremy Hazin loves to throw a change of pace and timing. There again is the soft loop. If Ethan is off the table, it's going to be very difficult to land.
Oh. Ethan responded.
Ethan picked to the right side, and you can see Jeremy
burned.
I think Jeremy likes a good point, whether it's coming off of his racket or his opponent. Again, this is a lefty-lefty situation where he knows when Ethan wants to step around, and he's just waiting that extra second to play the ball.
Yeah, the wide forehand is not the lefty's friend.
Correct. And again, Jeremy continuing to mix up the pace of his opening loop.
Looked like Ethan was trying to give Jeremy a taste of his own medicine a little bit.
Yeah. Often fun to give the opponent the same thing that just worked against you. Great hustle by Ethan.
Awesome rally. Wow. Alright, it's 5-9, Ethan to serve.
Smart playing by Ethan to get the ball out to the forehand side. I would say, Michael, that if Ethan can play more out to the forehand and get away from this backhand-to-backhand exchange, Jeremy will have to do a lot more than just block to an open court, but easier said than done. You can see he's going to go out to the forehand right now. But here's a chance for Ethan. If he can take potentially both of these points, maybe he can steal this game.
Oh.
Great loop into the middle. Somehow Jeremy able to make this one back and then out to the forehand again. That's beautiful. Ethan will get the serve back, trailing by 2, so it'd be great if he could deuce this game up.
That's a nice 5th ball. Yeah.
Looks like Ethan's gotten a lot more comfortable building the point and not just going for a big shot, but here, nice spin up on the 3rd, driving the 5th. Jeremy having more difficulty on the forehand side.
You think maybe because Ethan went for 2 forehands instead of a backhand that was the issue, or?
Yeah, I think Jeremy just played a really smart ball out to the forehand, which really neutralized Ethan's strong footwork. But if I'm Ethan, I do play that second forehand because it gives him a lot more options. It's just that Jeremy is so strong in these backhand-to-backhand exchanges, especially with his down-the-line shot, that Ethan's got to take a lot of positive energy from the 11-9 because he's moving, he's looping, he's doing a lot better job. The first game he really seemed to kind of be feeling out Jeremy and nothing really worked. But now he's got some balls to go through. You can see on the highlights here a lot more movement by Ethan, his forehand. Some of them going long as he's overhitting, but he's doing the right thing. He's getting his forehand into play, putting Jeremy on the defense when he can, but again, Jeremy is really owning the angles.
Now Jeremy leads 2-0 with Ethan to serve in this 3rd game. So we'll see what Ethan does hopefully with a new game plan. Nice first point.
Playing against a good counter-attacker or blocker like Jeremy, it's such a difference whether you're leading 1 or 2 points or trailing. It's almost like playing a defender. You don't want to get too far behind because it feels like it's such an uphill battle. Slow start for Jeremy. Doing a nice job with the opening.
Nice long, fast topspin serve to Ethan's backhand.
I think if they just get into a counter attacking duel, that Ethan will have the upper hand. It's just positionally Jeremy plays such smart locations that Ethan's going to have to work to get his forehand into play. He's not going to get too many free balls. Jeremy just mixes it up constantly, whether it's a slow opening or the backhand punches down the line. A lot of off-pace rallies from Jeremy Hazin. You'd almost think that Jeremy was a little bit of a combination player because he's taking pace off the ball, dropping him short, which is not bringing a lot of speed. And then all of a sudden he'll change it. Oh, he had that one on his paddle. But it all was set up by that previous wide backhand block that really knocked Ethan out of the point here.
All right, it's 4-4 with Ethan to serve. Oh.
Once again, Jeremy just like a wall up at the table.
Yeah, but Ethan was trying to change up the pace by the end, but rushed it a little, and it went long.
Almost looks like they're doing a topspin blocking drill.
Yeah, and then boom. Oh, there.
Jeremy does a great job of covering the balls in the center of the table, especially his forehand and backhand down the lines. But he's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to drop a game and allow Ethan to get back into this match.
Yeah. 5-5, Jeremy to serve. Oh.
He had decided he was going to run in regardless.
Yeah. Tied up 6-6.
Great shots by Ethan. It's like running into a burning house. That's just a great forehand block by Jeremy after a control opening. Ethan did a great job on the counterattack. And Jeremy fighting for the first attack, but what's working so well is Jeremy's placement. Very smart move by Ethan to get that ball out to the forehand side early in the rally.
Oh, awesome shot by Ethan. Tie it up at 8-8. He needed that point.
Big point for Georgia Tech right now. They do not want to go down 10-8.
Oh, beautiful placement by Jeremy. That was a perfect setup. Oh.
You can just see Jeremy took up at a whole nother level.
Right.
Great serve return, wide out to the back, and then a quick step around.
There we have it. 11-8 for Jeremy to seal the deal at 3-0 and get the first singles match for NYU for the co-ed teams. And they're still playing the second singles match on table 2 right now. We're going to shortly have the next one on table 1. We're going to just take a quick break. My name is Mike Reff, and I have with me Sean O'Neill. Keep tuning in. Thank you.
Okay. Red, blue. You want to choose?
I'll take red.
Blue. This side. Let me see. Side.
All right, welcome back to the Coed teams event. We have NYU playing Georgia Tech. My name is Mike Reff, and I'm joined in the commentator booth with Sean O'Neill, who is a former coach of UVA in Portland State. Welcome back, Sean.
Good to be with you, Michael. We've got another exciting match coming up here with NYU and Georgia Tech. Got some interesting styles and some very strong players. So,
yeah, we have Peter Yuan of NYU. He's a modern chopper, a defender, but he has a strong forehand. So, yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. And Daniel Nung of Georgia Tech. This is the fourth singles match, and the third singles match is being played on table 2, so you can tune in there as well. And that one is between White Bai and Matthew Liu. So currently, the match score, the matchup right now is 1-1. So both teams have won one singles match each. So the ideal would be to win, 3-1 at this point in favor of one team or the other. But you never know. They might go to the tie-breaking doubles match. So that's always exciting as well.
yeah, so both teams within striking range, if they can pull the double win. But I have a feeling that we've got maybe the more exciting match here on table 1 with Peter. Kind of brings everything to the table. We saw him play some of the doubles yesterday.
Right.
It's like the players are ready to begin. Daniel will start serving.
The second point, Peter started using his red side with the pips. You can hear that sound. And so far, Daniel is doing pretty well against that, but we shall see as the game progresses because it's a war of attrition sometimes against defenders.
Absolutely. Now, Michael, I think we're going to see a lot of a similar point where Daniel's going to go for a monster loop on his forehand side, and it'll be up to Peter if he can keep the ball nice and low and mixing up the spin. We have seen, oh, look at that. Great counterattack by Daniel. I don't think Peter realized he even hit the ball.
Yeah,
that was
he
such
was
a
just
fast return.
Just
The nice thing about Peter's game is if he is seeing a lot of pushes, he can turn himself and use his forehand to get the offense going. But there should be some fireworks here in this match with both players having a lot of firepower.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Daniel is putting his whole body into those loops. Oh, beautiful forehand loop by Peter. And now it's tied 4-4 with Daniel to serve.
Daniel's going to have a tough time if he's trying to loop those high balls over the net. He'd be better off smashing if possible. Gonna make it.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Serve error by Peter. So now it's 5-6.
So Peter is from Jiangsu, China. And I want to say that Daniel, although we have him listed from Duluth, Georgia, which is where he's currently residing, that I don't remember him as a U.S. junior player. So not 100% sure of which country. He might have learned table tennis in, but he's got a devastating forehand right now.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of the backhand yet, but
no, the backhand doesn't really seem like it's really much there.
Yeah.
But with a forehand as powerful as he has,
We just had the backhand.
maybe you don't need a backhand, but
Yeah.
Peter's going to definitely play into it as much as he can.
Indeed, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, Daniel went for the kill and didn't connect. So now Peter has 3 game points. Wow, awesome point with a little bit of net luck, but it closed out game 1 in Peter's favor. So now he's up 1-0 in this Coed team quarterfinal matchup between NYU and Georgia Tech. NYU is the number 3 seeded team, and Georgia Tech is number 6 seeded.
So both teams made their way to the quarterfinals as expected.
Right.
See some highlights here from game number 1 with Daniel showing some great forehand power, but again, Peter having a lot of the answers, bringing a lot of balls back, and also giving Daniel a lot of different looks. So 11-7, close game, but I would say that right now Peter is in control. We haven't seen him attack as much on his forehand because he's more comfortable mixing it up and letting Daniel either go for the big shot or misread some of his returns.
Nice point by Daniel.
You know, Michael, yesterday Matt and I were talking about just the international diversity that we have here at NCTTA and how as students come from various countries around the world, how table tennis tends to be that one common denominator that allows them to really fit into the college community with a lot more confidence and ease, and you can see it here in these matches.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, we have student athletes from China, from Sri Lanka, from
Sweden.
Brazil, Sweden, all over.
It's also nice to see a number of the top U.S. stars as well, with Sid Naresh and Nikhil Kumar, members of the national team. Of course, Nikhil played in the Tokyo Olympics for the United States. Extremely high level. I think every year it just gets stronger and stronger here at the college national championships. A beautiful backhand loop by Peter, although Daniel handled it well, and we're tied up again at 4-4. Seems like Daniel's going for so much. He does play one or two soft balls, and against a chopper that's difficult because you're really giving the chopper an opportunity to change the spin.
Right.
I think if Daniel were to just start out and play strong off the first ball, he'd be able to control the spin right now. Peter Yuan doing a nice job. Beautiful chop. Almost like to call that an offensive chop, the way that sizzled down the line. 3-point lead. Beautiful forehand by Daniel. When he gets into position and he goes for it, can definitely put the ball through Peter. The question is, how's he going to get into? Oh, there's a good loop. Ooh.
Awesome.
Excellent play off the serve. Another great point. Peter able to get back the first attack, but not the second.
It's tied up 7-7 with Daniel to serve.
Beautiful step around.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen a lot of Peter going on the offense so far in this game. It just appears that Daniel isn't as comfortable with a sustained attack. So that's great footwork by Peter.
Yeah, it's 9.
Daniel making a late game surge here in game 2. See if Peter continues to stay offensive minded.
Peter has 2 game points for this second game. Daniel really needs this game to establish some momentum. Nice placement by Peter to Daniel's wide forehand. And he gets the second game, so it's now 2-0 in Peter's favor.
On table 2, it's the same 2-0 for NYU, so they're both within 1 game of wrapping up this tie. White Bai is up 2-0.
Yeah, versus Matthew Liu. If both singles matches are won by NYU, then they could seal the deal at 3-1, but we shall see. It ain't over yet.
Yep, both teams fighting for a spot in the Final Four. This quarterfinal match.
And we have now the 2025 World University Games coach Gao, who is also the coach for NYU, he was in the corner with Peter right just then. So
former NCTTA singles champion. Beat Mark Hazinski.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't know that bit of trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got high pedigree.
Oh, yeah. And the NYU was also the 2022 and 2023 Coed champions for NCTTA.
So definitely a lot of support from the school.
Oh, wow.
That is a perfect put away by Daniel Eng. Just no difficulty. At this point down 0-2, there's no reason not to go for big shots. And
He's
once
doing
again,
just that. No pressure now. Yeah.
either go big or go home.
Yeah.
So definitely. This is what I thought Daniel was going to potentially do at the beginning, is to see if he could just kind of go for broke and get Peter to change his style, but he's had a lot of difficulty reading that first ball. Whoa.
Oh, slip there. Oh. Yeah, Peter lost his footing a little bit in that point, so a little bit off balance, and Daniel capitalized on it. So now Daniel's up 4-1 with the serve. Beautiful short serve, and then a third ball setup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just, I mean, he's continuing just to put the ball away. It's interesting, it seems that both players are keeping an eye on table 2 because they realize the outcome will change the team standing here. And right now, Daniel's doing a nice job of getting his offense going. I mean, that is one big swing. I mean, when Daniel goes for it, definitely not going at 50%.
Wow.
What a return by Peter Yuan, just bringing back the heat as Daniel Eng is just going for finishing blows at every opportunity.
Jeez.
I mean, Peter was in position and that ball went straight through him. You can see on the replay here, just so much power. Look for Peter to serve a lot more short and change of spin and to get his forehand in, because right now Daniel has established that if he's making his first attack at full speed, Peter really doesn't have much of an answer.
Looks like there's going to be a fourth game on table 2. So Georgia Tech took that third game. And Daniel's up 9-3 in this third game here on table 1.
Wow.
Yeah,
What a third game performance so far.
he's in complete control of this game. Yeah.
You wonder if he had started with the same tactics in game 1, if this would be a chance to finish off the match.
All right. Peter's saved 1 game point. 4-10, Peter to serve. Nice forehand loop by Peter to save another game point. 5-10. Wow.
Beautiful
He is
inside out.
responding.
Yeah, so in down 4-10, you realize you've got a long way to come back, but staying on the offense. I think right now, Peter's main thought is just figuring out a way of stopping the big forehand, because Daniel's had no difficulty this game in landing his knockout blows.
Wow. Well, Daniel ends that game 11-6 in convincing fashion, so he's definitely switched the momentum now. What do you think Coach Gao is offering Peter to try to close this out?
Yeah, I think the main thing is got to keep that first ball a little shorter so that Daniel has to work for the point and not just get a first free swing. And I think Jeremy also is going to give some tips. I can see here on the replays that Daniel had no problem when he was in position to just blister the ball back. Just so much power, but he needs a good ball to go after. And in the first 2 games, Peter really mixed it up well. So I think that's what Coach Gao is going to focus on, is change the depth, move it around. Don't give Daniel a chance to take a free swing. It should be interesting. Daniel really raised his level. I'm sure his confidence is at an ultra high after that 11-6 controlled win.
So Peter has the first serve for this 4th game. He needs to start just establishing reestablishing the dominance. Ooh. Okay, a little net luck. So 0-1. Peter to serve still.
So it looks like we're going to see Peter try to force some offense. But for Daniel, great start to try to extend this match. I'm sure that Daniel at Georgia Tech doesn't get an opportunity to play a defensive player as strong as Peter on a regular basis, so just getting into the game can take a game or 2. Great counterattack by Daniel Eng. Again, both players watching the table to their left. Need to.
It's currently tied 4-4, but 2-1 in favor of NYU in that match.
Oh, look at the great step around. And it feels like Daniel is really getting more and more comfortable with the amount of spin and the speed.
His footwork is amazing.
And it's always fun to think what it'd be like to be a chopper. You'd have all the time in the world, you could mix it up, but then you'd play somebody like Daniel and you'd be like, I don't want to be a chopper.
This is messing up his rhythm. You can tell by the body language too. He's frustrated.
Right. That last loop was not, there was no spring in it. A lot more frustration.
Yeah.
And now some unforced errors by NYU's Peter Yuan, just overcooking the last ball. Wow. And this is almost like batting practice for Daniel Eng, just taking his time. Very similar score to what we had in game 3 as he bolted out to a very big lead. It seems right now that Daniel has established when he makes his strongest loop that Peter can't actually keep it down or keep it into play. Wow, 10-2 here in game 4.
Daniel's even getting more confident using the backhand loop as well. Just using both wings. So 2-10 for Peter to serve. All right, we go into a 5th game decider for this Coed team's singles match, the 4th singles match for the matchup between NYU and Georgia Tech. Right now on table 2, the 3rd singles match is going on, and it is 9-5 with 2 games to 1 in NYU's favor, with White by is the NYU player there. So this could be NYU being up 2-1. We shall see, though.
I mean, amazing points on both tables.
Yeah, just on paper, on the other side, White by is only 1978, but I believe that might be a little bit underrated.
The way they're playing.
Yeah. And all right, so now the pressure's on for Georgia Tech to get this 4th singles match, because NYU is now indeed up 2 matches to 1.
Be interesting if Peter Yuan can actually, you can see him talking to himself right now, reminding him what he needs to do, which is to play much smarter on these first 1 and 2 shots. That
All right,
ball
that's
is
a good
so
first
heavy.
point. Yeah,
if he's able to get that first one back.
yeah. All right.
NYU 1 game away from reaching the Final Four. Georgia Tech trying to force the doubles in a 2-2 tie.
I think the cheering is going to be increased quite shortly.
Yeah, definitely the players are more
Yeah.
engaged with only 1 match going.
There's Georgia Tech for you.
They're on their feet. Wow, that's just a lot of power by Daniel Eng.
It was a great setup, too, because Daniel started with a kind of a spinnier loop, more control, and then had more driving towards the end. It was more just mix of play.
Peter needs to, when he's chopping, and you can see Peter talking to himself, he needs to chop at much wider angles. Can't be just going down the center of the table. That time, Daniel, no difficulty stepping around. And the frustration on Peter's face says everything. Some self-exaltation by Peter trying to get himself going.
He's hyping himself up.
Bullet!
Oh, here we go.
Now he's
he wants the cheering section for his team as well. Yeah.
Nothing is worse when your opponent's cheering section is clearly out cheering.
Oh, wow.
That's a sense of awe from the NYU team as somehow Peter was able to block from the backcourt a winner. Only possible due to Daniel's powerful shot.
They're trading off cheering, each point exchanged.
It's almost Cho versus counter Cho. And now the players will change ends. And Daniel Eng really showing once again the power of his forehand versus the defensive Peter Yuan of NYU. Timeout for NYU.
It's probably a good time. Yeah.
Nice thing about the team event is everyone on the team is allowed to give advice. So hopefully you don't run into overcoaching where you have conflicting suggestions on what to do.
Yeah.
But you definitely can get a lot of different perspectives of what might work, especially since this is a team event. These players know each other quite well. Got some low fives as Daniel comes out to the table.
All right, and we'll see if that timeout paid off in Peter's favor. It's 4-6 with Peter to serve.
I always get nervous about players coming out of the timeout, about potentially missing their own serve or. Oh, again, Daniel Ang just showing the pure power for Georgia Tech. So we're going to give Daniel the edge off of the timeout.
Wow. Daniel does a backhand opener, but Peter responds with a nice forehand smash down the line.
Two big serves here for Daniel Ang.
Wow. High pressure situation. That was what he needed, Peter.
Peter definitely going on the offense. He doesn't want to see that big forehand from Daniel if he doesn't have to.
He's stepping it up.
Yeah.
Peter is stepping up. 7-7. This is now Georgia Tech is calling their timeout. This is a good call. Yeah, the momentum has shifted.
Seemed like Daniel was back at the barrier already before Peter even got up to the table. He knew he wanted to slow Peter down with the last two very strong forehand attacks, both third ball stepping around, but also that nice inside out, just moving it around so quickly. Coach Gao giving tips. Great sense of urgency on both teams' benches. NYU trying to get into the next round, and Georgia Tech just fighting to get to the doubles in a 2-2 tie.
Line.
Serve is with Peter of NYU. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Good call. Yeah, that was good sportsmanship with Daniel.
The players don't have the luxury of our lower third overlay. Oh, a misread of the dead chop. It was high. But that has worked out well for Peter. Anytime he mixes in the dead ball, it seems like that's the one ball that Daniel's had issues with. Even a change of serve now for NYU. Just too much pure power from Daniel Ang, and you're tied up once again.
8-8. Can't get any closer than this.
Just wonder if Peter will give up the defense and continue to go on offense like we've seen him do later here in this game 5.
Oh,
smart move. Great counterattack.
Now both players have used up their timeouts, so we're just going to go to the end.
Be smart for Daniel if he could serve long and just get into his power game. point, ending with a net ball. Both players completely scrambling as fast as they can. And
Peter taking his time. And this is technically the towel break, so we can take a little time. 10 minutes.
That's just great table tennis right there.
Daniel saves 1 match point.
Oh, not only a match point, but a tie point to
Right?
keep his team in it.
Yeah. Different serve.
Whoa. NYU is able to take the team victory with a great performance by Peter Yuan.
Awesome play. Peter Yuan defeats Daniel Young 3-2, and that seals the deal for NYU against Georgia Tech with a 3-1 match count. And they advance on into the semifinals.
So great effort by Georgia Tech.
Yeah, definitely.
No need to hang your heads low. Daniel Eng played a great match coming down to the final 2 points, but NYU does get to advance into the semifinals with the very strong play from Jeremy Hazin, along with White Bai and Peter Yuan. Well done for NYU. Completely different styles with our chopper attacker, lefty Olympian, and then White Bai playing a great match over Matthew Liu.
Exactly. Alright, so if you enjoyed the action now, still stay tuned in for the next matchup is the women's teams matches, and that's going to be number 1 seeded UCLA versus number 3 seeded Harvard. Again, my name is Mike Reff, and I'm with Sean O'Neill, and we shall be commentating quite soon. Thank you all.